It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. The Perfect Draft system is a fantastic system. I'm completely in love with my Perfect Draft machine. We've had IPAs, lagers, all sorts of wonderful different beers, vice beers on this system. But for everybody, including myself, it's always been missing one style of beer. And that's a stout. But that ends today. We've just taken delivery. I say just taken delivery. It's been in my fridge for a few hours to get it down to the required temperature. But we've just taken delivery of the first stout on the Perfect Draft system. And it's the Magic Rock Dark Arts Surreal Stout, 6% ABV. We also went out first thing this morning and picked up a can of the Dark Arts Surreal Stout in a can, and I've dropped that down to 3 degrees. I just want to compare the two, because there's a few little things that we need to cover in this video. But first of all, let's get this out and opened. Now we'll leave the line in for a moment because I have a beer. We'll leave that line not touching anything. We don't want any infections. We've already got a beer in our Perfect Draft system, but some of you might agree that it's a beer that I'm not going to mind too much swapping out. This is the first time I've ever swapped a beer out on the Perfect Draft. I've been on their website and they've said you can swap a keg out, but it's better if you drink the whole beer before swapping a keg. But you can do it. I'm going to do it. I'll show you why. It's a keg of Budweiser, and I only tapped it yesterday, and I've only had a pint or two out of it. But I really want to get into this stout. So let's... Here you go, no problem. Nothing happened. There's not even any kind of beer in there. It just stayed sealed. But I'm going to swap the beer line, so here we go. Get that out of there. I'm going to keep that. I'm probably going to give that a bit of a clean before I put it back in with the Stella. We're doing a Stone Crow Virtual Pub tonight. And something like, I call it Stella, it's Budweiser. Something like a Budweiser at the Stone Crow Virtual Pub. I mean, it's okay to drink pint after pint while we're chatting with our good friends over there at the virtual on the virtual pub. So we just want to get this beer line. There you go. It's fed into the top, and you click it in, and then you have, this is your fresh beer line. And then what you simply do, I won't put it back on the Budweiser, I'll just chuck this down a little bit so you can see. You simply stick it on top, push down, and there we are, you have your line fitted. Pick up your keg, you have a little handle on the back, lift that up, feed it into your system. Push down on the blue bits and pieces there, close the doors. It's telling me, now I'm going to zoom in so you can see. How far can we? Here we go, here we go, here we go. Can you see that? It's telling me that it is 5 degrees. 5 degrees on the perfect draft. So what I need to do is wait for, I don't know, half an hour, an hour. I reckon it'll be done in an hour easily. Wait for it to get down to that perfect temperature of 3 degrees. I'm going to put this back in the fridge to keep it at 3 degrees, and we're going to do a review of the Magic Rock Dark Art Surreal Stout, the first ever stout on the perfect draft. Back in a moment. Okay, so it's been an hour, 2 hours to get this keg of stout down to temperature. We have our glass. Here we go. Let's give it a pour. I'm going to give this beer a chance. Of course I am. This is just to kind of pull some beer through the line. It's very important with these machines, you pull some beer through the line. So while I let that settle down a little bit, I just pulled this out of the fridge. It's 3 degrees, same temperature. It's the canned version of the Dark Art Surreal Stout. And look at that. It's created a one finger tan coloured head, jet black beer in the glass. Comparing it, I don't really want to compare it yet. I mean, it's looking very, very similar. Maybe yeah, let's knock this down. It's very important that I want to give this beer the best possible chance. It's going to be a good beer, I'm pretty sure of it, but so often now I've pulled through lines and the beer's gone really frothy, and if I have a wet glass and I pull some beer into the line, I should then be able to pull theoretically, I should be able to pull a full pint of stout from the perfect draft into my glass. I'm going to chuck this. Right. Here we go. That's not bad. If you looked at the pour from the can, same temperature, same beer, that almost looks like it. I mean, it looks very nice. You're rocking the beer back and forth. You can see the carbonation chasing the head of the glass. But look at it from the perfect draft. It's a completely different beer. A completely completely different beer. And if you were in Belgium, this would be a very, very kind of respectable head on the beer. I haven't got a glass of foam. I have a good 2/3 of a pint here, and a nice lid on it, a nice head. If you think of some of the great stouts out there, they've got fantastic, fantastic head on them. So, jet black beer in the glass, 2 to 3 finger tan coloured head. How many times have you heard me say that? I just want to say at this stage as well, I purchased this keg on my own. It's not a sponsored video by any chance. It's not. I bought the can, I bought the keg. It's been delivered to me this morning. Nothing is sponsored here. It's an independent beer review. Let's get the aroma. It actually smells better on the Perfect Draft. It's a little bit more chocolate, a little bit more caramel. This is more, I'd say, pipe tobacco smoke. This is the can. A little bit more pipe tobacco smoke from the can. Let's dive in then. Cheers. Pipe tobacco smoke in the flavour. Chocolate, coffee, caramel. It's good. It's good. It's very good, in fact. And I'll let you know in a moment why I'm saying this, but it's completely surpassed what I thought a stout could be from the Phillips Perfect Draft. And let's go ahead and say why. 3 degrees for a stout is very cold. It's very cold. You're going to lose the complex malt flavours. Some of the roasted malt's going to get lost in there. Maybe some of the hop profile's going to get lost in there. 3 degrees is very, very cold for a stout. The reason why we haven't seen a stout before now on the Phillips Perfect Draft is because realistically this machine has been produced for lagers. I think that was its first intended purpose. When this machine first came out, I think it's been out between 6 and 8 years. It's not something that's just new. It's quite an old piece of technology now. But if you were to look at the release beers for this system, I've not done that, but I bet you they were lagers. I bet you they were the kind of beers we took out, your Budweiser or your Stella or your Jupiler, or that sort of mainstream lager. It's taken probably, let's face it, this year 2020 has been an incredible year for everybody. A lot of people have turned to home drinking, and a lot of people have invested in bars like I have here in my conservatory. And a lot of people have picked up these machines. These machines have been sold out. The Perfect Draft, not just the Perfect Draft, but the Krups and the Blade and the Pygmy. A lot of these machines have been sold out throughout the year. At one time or another, these machines have been sold out. So, of course, there's going to be a demand for beer. There's going to be a demand for different styles of beer. Belgian doubles, Belgian triples, stouts, porters. And it's taken this horrible, horrible situation in 2020, and the demand has come from that for us to see a stout on the perfect draft. And I'm just cradling the beer, I'm just holding the beer, I'm just letting it warm up a little bit, because I want to give I want to see if the beer changes, if we get more of that complex malt flavour once we drink the beer a little bit warmer. Because, let's face it, I was talking earlier about the stout being 3 degrees. I want my stouts probably 12 degrees. Just below room temperature. I say just below, maybe 6 degrees below room temperature, about 12 degrees. That's where I feel, as somebody who's drunk an awful lot of beer, I feel that's the perfect temperature to drink stout and porter. Again, let's go back to the can version. I don't think I've given this much attention. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be perfectly honest. The reason why I bought this can was for the first time I thought the situation was going to be turned on its head. I genuinely thought that the can of Dark Arts was going to be better than the perfect draft version, but I'm wrong. I've been fair. I've chilled them both down to the same temperature, 3 degrees. 3 degrees. You can see, look at the difference. Look at the lacing on the stout from the perfect draft compared to the lacing and the body on the stout from the can. Look at the colour. There's a different colour to the head. You can see, you can visibly see perfect draft, canned, Dark Arts. You can see that the perfect draft version there's more of a colour to it. There's more of a richness. That's almost kind of, that's insane to put two beers side by side like that, and to see the difference just in colour, just in the colour and the head retention. I think that's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. So it's proven me wrong. I bought it. I bought the keg. The keg cost me about £38. And I bought a Jupiler keg just to give myself free delivery. If you spend over £50 on Beerhawk, you get free delivery. So I thought, right, I'll chuck a Jupiler in there, we'll have free delivery. But I honestly thought that I was going to be wrong in this review. I honestly thought that the can was going to be better than the perfect draft for the first time. For the first time. And I was wrong. That's what I was meant to say. I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. This beer on the perfect draft, this Dark Arts, is a much better beer. A much better beer than the canned version of Dark Arts. I've surprised myself here, I really have. There's more body. There's more body. You're not going to be... The only thing you can see The only thing you can see is the head retention and the way that beer looks in the glass. You cannot possibly get what I'm tasting, because only I can get that. But what I'm trying to say is this beer is thin. This dark art in the can is thin. On the Perfect Draft, it's rich and full-bodied, and it's like the dark art I remember. If you watch one of my videos, I was at the brewery probably 9 years ago now, and I was drinking dark art out of the fermenter. And what a beer that was. What a beer. I'm going to rate this beautiful. Beautiful beer from the Phillips Perfect Draft. It's the Magic Rock Dark Arts Surreal Stout. The first stout to ever come out on the Perfect Draft. I'm going to rate that, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. The canned version of Dark Arts Surreal Stout, it tastes like cherry cola. It's a completely different beer. I cannot emphasize enough to you people the difference in quality in this beer. I'm glad you've all stopped by. I'm glad you've all waited for a review of the Dark Arts on the Phillips Perfect Draft. Thank you for your patience. 9 out of 10 for the keg version on the Perfect Draft. The canned version that tastes like cherry cola, it's a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.